What's up, guys, and welcome to another edition of Market Marauders. Beating the market one trade at a time. If you're new to Market Marauders, investment channel helps you find best deals in the market. If that's something you're interested in, make sure you smash the subscribe button down below, like, comment, and share. Also, if you're new to the channel, make sure you go and add me on IG. I have the IG in my about page. It's also in the top in my banner, so go check that out. I try to answer some questions on here, but recently somebody just asked me some questions on IG, so that's another way you can reach me. So make sure that you go and add me on the IG page. So another busy day in the stock market. A lot of moves going on with all the stuff going on. It's also still earnings season, so a lot of things going on with earnings. But without further ado, let's jump into the earnings that we had today. So the first one that I had on my list, there were only two for today. We had Purple and IZEA. So let's go into IZEA first. So for IZEA, moving average 10 is $1.47. Moving average 50 is $1.47. And the moving average 100 is $1.54. So in today at $1.49, but it looks like towards the end of the day it kind of sold off. So it sold off quite a bit. Sold off 17 cents to end the day at $1.32. So just bear that in mind. It will open up around the $1.32 mark. So as far as going and looking and analyzing this chart, I would say it is bearish, denoted by the moving average 10 line, crossing the moving average 50 and moving average 100, and it has not been able to surpass this resistance level of the moving average 50. So it's tested it, it went above it, but then it immediately went down after hours below the moving average 50 line. So I would definitely denote that as a bearish trend. So I would call this stock bearish. But let's jump into the earnings for IZEA and let's see how they perform. So this is on their website. IZEA reports Q2 2020 financial results. Just going to briefly go over some of the highlights on here. So they are based out of Orlando, Florida. If you are familiar with IZEA, it's kind of like Upwork in a sense, or Fiverr, if you're familiar with those companies. They promote basically people who have skills can, get together with different companies to market those skills. So like, let's say you're good at making websites. You can go on this website and market your skills, and then different organizations can partner with you and you can get paid through that. So that's basically the way that this company functions. So their total revenue was down 20% to $3.1 million compared to $3.9 million. Managed services unit revenue decreased 17% to $2.5 million compared to $3.0 million. SaaS services unit revenue decreased 31% to $645,000 compared to $932,000. And total costs and expenses were $4.9 million compared to $5.9 million. Net loss was $1.8 million compared to net loss of $2 million. And adjusted EBITDA was negative $1.3 million in both periods. So they kind of, got beat up on earnings. It seems like the stock seems to be reflecting that as well. So jumping into the next one that I have on here, we have Purple, ticker sign PRPL, the mattress company, the company that makes different mattresses. So jumping into them, we can see that their moving average 10 is $25.15. Moving average 50 is $24.69. The moving average 100 is $24.66. So they ended the day today at $24.35. And then after hours, they went down $2.85. So they went down pretty far after hours, considering where they ended the day at. So I would say they're beginning to have a bearish pattern. So if you look on here, it still denotes that they're bullish, but the confirmation for them being bearish to me has not come yet. But if you look at it, you can see that they're clearly going down, and especially where they ended below their moving average 50 and moving average 100, which denotes a bearish pattern has begun. Also, it went down even further from that after hours. So going into their revenue and their results from today. So we can see second quarter net revenue increased 60.3% to 165.1 million. Second quarter operating income improved to 32.0 million. Cash and cash equivalents at June 30th, 2020 increased to 95.4 million. So net revenue increased 60.3%. Okay, yeah. So go to here, direct to consumer revenue increased 127.9%, and wholesale revenue decreased 49.3%. So basically, there were a lot of people at home that bought mattresses compared to people going in the store buying mattresses. Gross margin improved to 49.4% compared to 41.5%. Operating expenses as a percent of net revenue were 30.1%. Compared to 43.8%. Operating income was 32.0 million compared to operating net loss or operating loss of negative 2.4 million. Net loss was 5.8 million compared to net loss of 7.3 million. Adjusted net income was 30.6 million compared to 2.6 million. EBITDA was 37.8 million compared to 5.2 million. Adjusted EBITDA was 35.2 million compared to 6.2 million. So those are the metrics for how they perform. They definitely seem to have been impacted by the pandemic. So, a lot is going into that, but they also were able to capitalize on it since they have the direct-to-consumer section of the company. Where we can see that they increased 127.9% in that area. So overall, their earnings was decent in my opinion, and they were able to, get a profit, definitely considering the fact that what happened to most other companies. Now, going into some more stocks, some news came out today in the court decision between Uber and Lyft. Says a California judge ruled that Uber and Lyft must classify their drivers as employees in stunning preliminary injunction issued Monday afternoon. So basically, if you've been following Uber and Lyft, they had like a lawsuit because all the people who, were drivers were technically employees of the company, but some of them were not able to get their unemployment money. So they were essentially unemployed without being, qualified for unemployment. And this kind of fell on Uber and Lyft, and, they had to go to court about it. So says Uber and Lyft are under increasing pressure to fundamentally alter their business models in California, the state where both companies were founded and ultimately prospered. Says at issue is a classification of ride halting drivers as independent contractors. Uber and Lyft say drivers prefer the flexibility of working as freelancers, while labor unions and elected officials contended this deprives them of traditional benefits like health insurance and worker compensation. So if you're basically an Uber driver, Lyft driver, you don't get any of those things. You do not get health insurance or workers' compensation. And there are basically a bunch of, groups that were like, that's not fair for them. You're able to make the money on the app, but you don't get benefits like health insurance and workers' compensation. Basically, other people telling them, what they should do with their companies. But, I think people kind of know when they start driving for Lyft and Uber that they don't have these things. So I don't know what party was kind of pushing to have these things integrated as part of the, daily function of the companies. But, It'll be terrible to lose both of these companies on that fact. Considering that they don't, and I think the court was basically forcing them to give people health insurance and workers' compensation. So, an ongoing battle. I think on tomorrow the decision basically ends, and they can appeal it. But I think ultimately what's going to have to come down to is that Uber and Lyft prices, if they come back, are going to have to increase in order for people to get these health insurance and compensations. So I don't think the company is going to be, forfeiting over any money to do this. I think they're just going to, increase the amount of money that you're going to have to be charged for a ride, which to me was already pretty expensive. I've only tried Uber and Lyft, a couple of times, but Lyft seemed to be a little bit cheaper than Uber, only because it had a discount code at the time that I used it. I think I used it at New Year's, and it was, a lot cheaper than the Uber app was, but both of them still were pretty expensive. So, with all that being said, I think a lot of people are going to end up leaving to go to other alternatives for work, like an Upwork, Fiverr, Isaiah, or something to where they can use other skills to subsidize that income that they otherwise are getting with Uber and Lyft. It's kind of tragic that this has kind of happened, but I think some people were fine just working and getting the money without having the health insurance and the workers' compensation. So to me, it is pretty tragic to see these forces being imposed upon Uber and Lyft, because you can just pick up the app and start driving basically and make money. And it was a service to help other people. So yeah, there were other criterias, in that you don't just get a car and do that. You have to fill out paperwork and all this other stuff, but it still was a lot easier than all these things that are being imposed on this company. So going into the next one, that had some news today. We got Nikola. So Nikola was very bullish today. Basically broke out today. Went up, tremendously. It started the day, let's see, the low 40s, and then went all the way up to 45.97. Kind of coasted around the 45 area. It went up all the way up to 47.45, but was very bullish overall today. Started around 42.75, went all the way up to 47.45, and then fell off and kind of went sideways after that. But that was based off of this news. I'm going to read the article. It says, U.S. electric truck maker Nikola said it was open to collaborating with Hyundai on hydrogen technology following a media report that it had reached out to Korean automaker. In an interview with South Korean newspaper Chosun Ilbo, or Ilbu, I think that's Ilbu, published on Sunday, Trevor Milton, founder of Nikola Corp, said he would like to cooperate with Hyundai. He said he had twice made proposals to Hyundai that were rejected. Hyundai, along with Toyota, are among a few automaker championing hydrogen technology. It says Trevor has immense respect for Hyundai and views Hyundai amongst the leader of hydrogen around the world. Nikola spokesperson Nicole Rose said in an emailed statement to readers, Trevor has and will continue to be open to collaborate if they're ever to choose to do so. So that's why the stock went up today, because there were talks of Nikola partnering with Hyundai. So, what do people say in stock market? Buy the rumor, sell the news. So basically that's why the stock went up, because people were buying the rumor. So, as soon as this came out, which was, 8 this morning, if you see the stock began its crazy rally upward. So if you're looking at Nikola for the future, you may be saying, how is something else that I can do to capitalize on a moment like this, or is this just a rare moment where this will shoot up? I think this has the possibility to shoot up again. Definitely, on the terms leading up to Nikola World, I think, it will definitely rally up to Nikola World and continue to grow, especially, after the debut of the Badger. It's a pretty huge event for the company. It's going to be, I think, December 3rd of this year. So looking forward to that, and definitely expecting to see the stock rally when it gets closer to that date. So other stocks I'm looking at is always SPY. I'm always looking at SPY. UUP, which seemed to be down today. Gold, which seemed to try to have a comeback on its bounce today, where it fell off from its all-time high of 194.45. Bounced. It's on its bounce where it's recovering from falling down all the way from there, and it was green today. Don't know if that's denoting a breakout, but it was kind of like a sideways play in my opinion, where it just oscillated back and forth between two metrics. Cisco, if we see, definitely fell off quite a bit. They were at 48.45, fell all the way down to 42.38. If we go to SDC, which is small direct, they fell off as well. After their earnings, they were up about 9.56, then fell all the way down to 7.75. Tesla rallied quite a bit today, but it oscillated back and forth between its different prices. It was in the 163 to 160. It rallied up this morning to 1651, and then it went sideways to 1630s. It was in 1630s back and forth all day, and then went to 1621 where it ended, and then rallied back up to 1635. So it's kind of stuck in the 1630s area. So going to be interested to see how that performs tomorrow. Also, remember they just recently did their 5-to-1 split, which is going to be executed on the 31st of August. So at the end of the month, 1 share, if you buy now, of Tesla will become 5 shares on that date. Going into Apple, they're also rallied a little bit today. They went up from, let's see, they started today at, where's this price at? 451.70, and then went all the way up to 460 where they ended today, and then went a little bit down to 459.51. So a little bit of rally on that, but they have their 4-to-1 split. It's going to be the same day as Tesla's 4-to-1 split. So just bear that in mind. Look forward to that. It'll be a lot cheaper to buy into both of those stocks on that date. And just going down the list, we got Moderna, which is still going down. And then we have INO, which is tried to rally up a little bit today. And then we have NEO, which is going sideways in my personal opinion. So drop a comment down below. Tell me which stocks you guys are looking at for the week. I will be trying to be on tomorrow, before market opens. So look forward to that. Try to get some plays as they come out. Take advantage of that. So make sure you're tuning into that tomorrow. Try to do some plays tomorrow and move around some money. So, good luck to you all trading out there. Make sure you add me on the IG so you can hit me up about some questions if you have any. Drop a comment down below. And good luck to you all trading. Peace.